The year was 1307 and it was Palm Sunday, and the English garrison attending church that day had absolutely no idea of the danger that was in their midst. Most of them would never make it out of the church alive, and the ones that did would be dead by the end of the day. And this is only the first time that the forces occupying this castle would find themselves being completely outdone by a man seemingly able to appear out of nowhere, wreak utter havoc, and then disappear again. He's a man they'd come to know as the Black Douglas, and this was his castle. So you may have noticed this isn't my usual setup, as I'm currently in Glasgow, and on my way here I realised I'd be passing by a village called Douglas, which has a castle called Douglas, and seeing as that's my actual name, I thought it'd be a pretty cool idea to come and check it out. Especially as this is the site of one of the bloodiest little episodes of Robert the Bruce's war against the English, and it began on a Sunday in church. And on that particular Sunday, the first time that the English troops would have realised anything was wrong was when a blade pierced their throat to the cry of Douglas. They had no idea that men loyal to James Douglas, the Lord of Douglas, had managed to mingle themselves in amongst the congregation. Most were killed and the rest were captured and dragged back to the castle, where Douglas's men sat down and enjoyed the meal that had been laid out for the English garrison. When they'd had their fill, the remaining stores were piled up along with the English dead, and the captives were then brought out, beheaded and added to the pile. The whole lot was then set alight. The ruins that stand here today are actually part of a later castle that was built in the 17th century, because the original was razed to the ground by Douglas himself after his third and final successful assault on his own fortress. That time, he'd managed to lure the supply-starved English out of the castle by disguising some of his men as country women leading pack horses laden with supplies. At the last moment, they threw off the cloaks and revealed themselves before slaughtering the English forces. Apparently, amongst the English dead was the body of Sir John of Webton, captain of the English forces, and on his person they found a note from a lady saying that if he managed to defend the dangerous castle from Douglas's forces for a whole year, she would agree to marry him, and this is supposedly the origin of the name Castle Dangerous. It's a name that was later popularised in 1831 by Sir Walter Scott in his novel of the same name, which was loosely based on the early history of the castle. The final incarnation of the castle was built in the 1700s, but it was demolished in 1938 because mining in the area had led to a risk of subsidence, which had left the castle, rather ironically, dangerous. All that's left of the castle today is part of one of the towers and part of a cellar with some rather nice Victorian tiles underneath it. But when you've got an opportunity to check out the ruins of a castle with a bit of bloody history that also happens to share your name, of course you're going to go and take a look at it.